Now there's three things I can do here, and no matter which one of the three I do, for sure I'll be removing the head. Now I can turn the end down here, probably half an inch in, and to the right diameter, but I haven't had very good luck doing that. Usually what happens when it gets really small, unless it's really, really short, it has a tendency to climb on top of the cutter, and of course that's the end of it. Now the next thing I can do is I can face the end after I cut the head off and then drill a small hole and insert a pin up the hole. But I've had bad luck when I try to drill holes in steel like this, really, really small. I usually end up breaking the bit. I'm going to give it a try anyway and see if it works, because that'd be the easiest. And then just sort of CA glue the little pin into the hole. Now the third thing I could do is I could take a block of wood and thread it so that I could screw it onto here a little ways, and then make the hole in the other end of the wood. I've had real good luck drilling holes, small holes in wood. But first we'll try and see if possibly I can't make a little hole in the end of this without breaking the bit. Okay, now I realize that I don't have the best camera angles for this machine. And I want to be careful I don't squeeze it too tight with the jaws there and ruin my threads, but I guess if I do, I can always run a die up and down the threads a little bit. Now, the idea is I want to face the end here. That way when I do make a center hole on it, the bit isn't going to want to wander around. Now I think I've mentioned this before. This is not what you call a tool room lathe. It's a lot more precise than my wood lathe, but sometimes things do not line up perfectly. But anyway, the idea is to just make a little dimple there in the center of that bolt so that the little tiny bit won't have a tendency to catch and break off. Anyway, here we go. Let's see what happens. Okay, that should be all I need. I am now at the place where I have to drill the hole. And what size hole? Well, a little research on the internet just now, I found out that those watch strap cotter pins are either 0.8 millimeter or 0.9 millimeter in diameter, depending on which brand you buy. So that puts it exactly the same size as the second largest needle there. So I should be able to make a punch out of that needle. And I'm hoping that I've got a drill bit now that will be just a smidgen larger than that needle. About 10, maybe 15 years ago, Sears here in Winnipeg had their #1 drill bit set on sale. It was a half-price sale. I believe it was on sale for $50, normally $100. And I thought when I was looking at the demonstrator model, the display model, I thought, well, this is really good. It goes from 40,000 and 41,000, 42, 43,000. That's pretty nice. I'd like to have a set like that. Well, it turns out that what they did was, it's not even 40,000, it's 45. Well, the first 5 are all 45. And then it jumps, and then the next 4 or 5 will all be the same size. And then the next 4 or 5 will all be the same size. Yeah, could this be why Sears went out of business? Anyway, the smallest I've got in this set is 45 thousandths. So we'll see if I can find something a little smaller. Here's our bit from Sears, 45 thousandths. Then I had 4 that were smaller. This is 39 thousandths, 27 thousandths, 19 thousandths, and this little guy here that you almost need the macro lens to see is only 14 thousandths. Now you're probably wondering, well, how do you get that in the chuck? Well, you use a little pin vise. Put it in here, and then you put this in your chuck, and you hope for the best. Now this littlest guy, I've actually drilled a hole with that in brass, and as you can see, I didn't break it. I only got one of those. Got to be really careful. Anyway, I'm thinking this 39 thousandths will be just right for this needle right here. Either one of these, they're the same diameter. Normally what I'll do when I want to drill a perfect hole in something like this is I'll replace the centering bit with whatever bit I want to drill, and then I'll turn the crank here and work the bit in. But that only works if you've got a fairly large bit, like an 1/8 inch or bigger, because you cannot feel the delicate pressure that you are going to want to apply on a very small bit. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it into my drill press, or at least my drill press vise, and then I'll put the pin vise in the drill press, and I'll stand a much better chance of not breaking my little bit. Now I know I made it sound like I do this sort of thing all the time, but the truth is I haven't used this thing for probably 2 or 3 years. Maybe more. So I'm hoping it's not kind of rusty here. Get a nice close grab on it here. Okay. Well, wish me luck. Well, I don't know if I should try it or not, but I'm going to see if I can go just a little bit deeper. Well, I think I better quit while the quitting's good. That's plenty deep enough. Well, you know, my clocks are gonging 4 o'clock in the afternoon already. Where has the day gone? I had originally titled this episode Part 2 Conclusion, but obviously it's not going to be. So I guess we'll have to press the pin out tomorrow. In the meantime, I guess we went in about 1/4 of an inch. That should be enough. Thanks for watching.